Hey everybody, Big Chonas here. If we're meeting for the first time, it's very nice to meet you. Let's talk some Bitcoin price action. Another day here. Bitcoin puts in a higher high on its closing candle, yet still respecting the upper Bollinger rejection that happened 2 days in a row, capping us off currently at around 19.9. Now the middle Bollinger did end up holding on that support on the daily chart when we tested it back on the last week of November and pulled us from a wick standpoint as low as 16.2, but really held that closing candle support above our middle Bollinger. And as you can see, the entire run up, we have middle, upper, and lower Bollinger all on the same upward trajectory here as the price action continues to hold the overall trend as we start a new day of Bitcoin price action. This is Big Chonas. Please hit the thumbs up button and follow me on Twitter as well. I'm at Big Chonas. I also like to do all my crypto trading on BingBon.com. If you want to support this channel, you can see the affiliate link below. Thank you for joining me tonight. We have exciting news here because Bitcoin is closed another day above $19,000. It just seems like, oh, the 19,000 is the new 9,000. I mean, remember how many days and years? I mean, I've been into Bitcoin for years now, and we can see going all the way back here the opportunities in hindsight, right, of when Bitcoin was below 14K, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. That moment this year where Bitcoin briefly dropped below $4,000 and very quickly and consistently has risen all the way up to where we currently are. Now, along this upward trajectory, several things have taken place that we can definitely analyze and gives us an idea of where we stand overall in the price action. I want to start here with the Bollinger Bands because what we can see here on the daily chart is that we have the upper Bollinger Band resistance continues to be respected as resistance. Tap here. Okay, now bullishly, we've been riding it all the way up. And bullishly, we have all three of our indicators, upper, middle, and lower, have continued that upward trajectory. But we need to continue to hold this to maintain our bullish bias. Now, the middle Bollinger support, when tested for the first time, has held that support, which gives us a sense, okay, that's strong support. Remember, that's the MA20. But a second tap, I'm not so certain it's going to hold as strong. Excuse me. Now that's an if. That's an if it's tapped. Okay? And there's nothing to say that a tap of 18.2 is expected while we continue to close above $19,000 Bitcoin. We can see our volume past couple days on the lighter side, but we've seen that as well through the course of our past several weeks here. Not just the Bollinger Bands, but our EMA 12, EMA 26 are two EMA indicators I like to use the most. And we can see here that the first touch of our 26, which is our longer term indicator, from a closing candle standpoint, against once again held support. And then the wicks below were 16.6 to 16.2 buying opportunities, again in hindsight at the time, because it was the first touch of this EMA since October 8th. This was the first touch since the breakout happened. This is the first sign of weakness. This is where Drago gets a cut. The guy says he's cut, the Russian's cut. And it's like, oh, he's not a machine, he's a man. Well, Bitcoin here was proven that it can bleed. Now, it bled, and it cauterized that bleed rather quickly because it never closed below the 26. It quickly regained the 12, and there it was. And once again, we are holding closing candle support, again, the daily chart, above our EMA 12, which is our blue line here, for the third consecutive day. One, two, three, four, five, six, seventh day we open above, and tests continue to hold. So these are our two lines here. 18.6 is our first support. 17.6 is our next support. Okay? Daily chart, a little bit longer time frame. Consider this swing trading, right? You couldn't high leverage trade this on a decent amount of money because you'd be stopped out instantly with just a little bit of a $100 move or something, or a $50 move. This would be a trade where you're doing a lower leverage and you're considering the possibility that if we tap again, we're going to at least hit it. We've held support before. If we hit again 17.5, we saw the initial touch and broke it. Maybe we touch it to the hair. So we're establishing areas of potential support on a pullback if we get that. And again, this is all like if. I were talking on the context of Bitcoin again closing above $19,000. MA 50, 100, 200. Again, we continue to be way above them. We continue to be way above them with MA 50 at 15.6. 15.6 establishes us the initial support area here. Now back through here, you could argue what's the big deal with the MA 50? You know, there were a couple instances where it was under it, it was over it, it was under it, was over it. But this isn't this. This is this, you know, and this is this. So when we look reference to our parabolic moves, okay, let's just hide the price for a moment. You know, just visually here, we're seeing the spread of the 2017, the spread over 2019, the spread of where we currently are here in reference to the extremes, right? How far the 50 was above the 100, how far the 100 was above the 200, which was quite high here in 2019. And all three in 17 were kind of equal and clean, right? Very clean here. 19 was quicker. The way the 200 moved up quicker. But this one was longer. The 17 was longer. That's why it took a long time to fall. But once it fell quicker. And here we still have all three rising, but rising slowly, comfortably, you know. They're far apart, but not by exponential moments here. You know, we had a MA 50 at almost 15K, and the same day, MA 200 at 75. It was almost 100% higher. Now we have MA 50 at 15.5 and a 200 at 11.5. What's that, like 35% higher? You know, big difference here. You know, so are we saying that we're just early? And that we're in this zone here, you know, just we haven't even done the big, fireworks yet. Well, we're looking at the same like angles here. Like this is very similar, right? We are very similar to the second part of that parabola, right? Where the three diverge. And the 50 is well ahead of the 100. But it's different this time. You know, it's different this time. The 50 is quicker because this move happened quicker, right? But all three indicators are not that far behind as happened in the previous times. It's very interesting. Which means I'm saying this is a unique move. I think we can look at fractals from the past. But this move in itself is historic and kind of stands on its own in that context. You know, daily Ichimoku. Remember, I have changed my indicators 20, 60, 120, 30. Okay, we're still riding our Tenkan-sen support again. That held. Haven't even touched our Kaijin. Haven't even touched our cloud. Drifting, you know, from now. I mean, you can't quantify it now. We're not going to go this. Probably not. 13. But, you know, in the future, into the end of December, right? It's 15K, 14K, you know, that's strong support there. If we get there and we drift sideways over the next, you know, whatever here, you know, even if we did something like, you know, this here and finally we're able to like touch the cloud at some point, you know, we're still over the overall range. Daily sequential. Nothing really of substance. I know that the 3-day we're past the 9 here. We've basically done a 9 with a 1, 2, 3. So we're continuing our count here. Even with that pullback, we never changed the bullish sequence continuation. The weekly, okay, we're a bleeding 9 here on a reversal candle, mind you, and a sequential 13 on this week, but we still have almost 3 days left of it, right? And of course, a monthly, we're on a monthly 9 this month, December. Now, a monthly 9 from a 30-day month, it's like, what the heck? What does that mean? Because we did a 9 here, right? And we closed at $9,000, and the next month we were as high as $20,000. So who cares about a 9 here if we did the 10 candle, even though it's not, but yes, 100% higher. What does that mean? Well, the 31 day, which is hold on here. How do you do this? Crap. Oh, there it is. Add minutes, months. 31. Come on. Well, there it is. There it is. I'm sorry. So when we calculate it from a 31-day pattern, we get something slightly different. And the reason this is interesting is because this makes our 2017 top at a 9 and our 2018 bottom at a 9 much more relevant, and not having any significant sequential top or bottom through the entire 2019, 2020 until now. We're able to get at least to an 8, and we're going to close at an 8. And frankly, we're going to get a 9 as long as we're over $10,000 by the end of the month. That is notable on this 31-day chart because of how the 9 totally marked the top and the bottom, the last two major tops and major bottoms, the bottom and the top until now, which can happen next month. So we can still get a 9 next month, and note we can still get a 9 next month and close, down here, because we have so much running room if we count the 4 candles back on the sequential. And my computer is frozen. Hold on a second here. Well, all right. This gives me a good segue here. Let's talk about some of the altcoins and how they've been able to react to, what we've been seeing of not just Bitcoin being very bullish, which it is, but being able to hold that bullish support. And again, as I said, close above that 19K area. What really stands out is the fact that hodlers and the money that's been invested this entire road up from, let's say, above $10,000 has not been shaken out, more or less, of this move, it seems. And we can see that in the GBTC price. And is holding at an area where you might be able to get enough momentum combined with retail FOMO to not only break 20,000, but get the sense that once the $20,000 break happens, 21, 22 is easy, right? And they were just epically bound to really do that. Or you could argue that Ethereum, through this entire run and the run up to Ethereum 2.0, has been so much of the driving force of the overall crypto market. And the fact that Ethereum has been able to go from, the doldrums of $80 back in the March lows, right? To be able to go there and basically bring us all the way to $600 here is a tremendous move in and of itself, right? But what's also more impressive is the fact that the valuation of Ethereum can be really, derived by all the DeFi and all the subset projects that are trying to build itself off of it. So having that bullish narrative for Ethereum and using that to really prop up the entire altcoin market, it's like Bitcoin is Bitcoin and Ethereum is like the Bitcoin of all the altcoins, because so much of their narratives individually can be tied back to Ethereum, built in the platform, and now the launching and the staking of ETH 2.0 kind of creates this overall that revaluation of, wow, maybe Ethereum in itself, because of the lockup stages of these situations, it can add that much more intrinsic value, and therefore we're seeing, this triangle consolidation once again. This 620s to 630 resistance, okay? The buying here of 485 area consistently with the resistance. I mean, listen, we hit it to a T back in the end of August, and then we bounced to a T at the end of November, right? And a very nice bounce as well, and put in actually a higher high intraday, and we're right there. Okay, we're still at the ETH highs, anything over 600 in Ethereum, right? But what we're noticing, right, and look at these percentages, this is 24-hour base here. Nothing is really advancing, okay, out of itself, okay? We're seeing little bullish divergences slightly, maybe on like lower time frames as such, but everything's waiting for Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin going to do? Is there more money coming into the market here? Is money on the sidelines? Okay, is the stock market going to bring us through? Tomorrow's Friday. People are going to be positioning themselves, okay, for the end of the weekend. And we know Bitcoin's the only, show. And with GBTC, such a very potent, thing here, vehicle of investment in the overall market, I almost feel like it could be driving, in a sense, Bitcoin price action. Are we at all-time highs? Did we break all-time highs today? I think we did. Right, 2406, 2412. Yeah, so today is the higher high for GBTC. Okay. And look at this. Look at that. Gap down, open, gap up. Oh, I mean, what the heck? Right? Whew. But tomorrow's Friday. And this, like we saw last week, right, had that little bit of a risk off end of day. So I'm going to keep an eye on this tomorrow on Friday's price action and see which way we trend heading into the weekend, and see if Bitcoin follows. I wanted to briefly mention Bitcoin dominance, which continues to be in the remix zone, which basically means everything is going to move in tandem with Bitcoin until proven otherwise. If you appreciate my time tonight, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to trade on excellent exchange, BingBon.com. That's where I do all my crypto trading. And please follow me on Twitter. I'm at BigChonis. I'll be doing these videos on video much more often as we close out another year, 2020. What a year. But we can understand that where we close out this year, okay, really no matter what happens in the next 27 days and 22 hours, everything about this yearly candle, it just speaks for itself. We have some of the highest volume we've ever seen in years at least. We have currently been able to maintain a price level around the 20K area with much more stability, you could argue, than what we did back in 2017. And we did it in a way that washed out a significant amount of traders with the dip to, sub $4,000, and counter traded the overall sense of the global economy, which is the time of COVID. And here we are, less than a month before this yearly candle closes. And actually the Bitstamp one is even more meaningful because we get a little more, history here. And we just see where we are. There's log scale, right? Okay. So we have proven once again the bulls, not just the bulls, but just Bitcoin itself has proven again, regardless if you believe in its technology, if you believe in its valuation, the gold aspect of it. Today, in December 2020, Bitcoin's intrinsic value per one Bitcoin is over 19,000 US dollars. And that is real, and that is true, and we will continue to chart it. Until next time, it's Big Jonas. We'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.